Hello, brothers and sisters of the interwebs. Steel Phoenix here, and welcome to the second part of this series that might only have two parts unless I feel like actually going down the rabbit hole even further than I already have. I don't know if I want to, though. Um, as I said in the last one, where with the problem with NTR, this is the problem. This one was with Ugly Bastard, the tag, not the actual concept of the whole thing. Again, I'm not here to berate you for your preferences in media consumption. I am here to complain about how inefficient tagging systems are. I might actually wind up doing the next one on Steam tags because those are really fun to get into. But before I wind up rambling forever, I'm going to get into this. This one kind of came to mind due to a similar series as to the other one, series of events, I should say. It was me talking to a friend about various things along this. That would be Mark. And we kind of got into the discussion about how misused this tag is as well. And I was reminded of how misused this tag was recently due to a relatively recent release thing. Came out in February. It's called oh heck, EJ Rare Fukushu Simon. I probably butchered the crap out of the name, but basically the concept of it is hypnotism, and it shares a particular theme with another one called Simon. He should do. I can never pronounce the second half of that one. But the difference in these is where one actually does fit the tag properly, the other one doesn't, but the comments wind up saying that it should. Simon Shisadu, I'm gonna probably butcher this name every time I say it, actually does belong in the Ugly Bastard tag because the dude is quite ugly. Luckily, it doesn't focus much on him aside from certain things, and internally and externally, he's like absolute scum and ugly. But the guy in Fukushu, which is what I'm going to label it as, because it's easier than me trying to freaking discern, is just fat. Now, in, say, something like the quality mangoes, you know exactly what side I'm talking about with the 6 numbers. He would be probably labeled as BBW or some other such as that because he's not, at least from what I've seen so far, not a huge scumbag or anything. And he's also not physically ugly aside from being overweight. Like even by fat standards in most of these quality anime, actually even like as far as normal anime goes, he'd probably fit in with that if he wasn't like, he'd probably just be like the fat friend or something in any other anime. But there's several people that comment, "Oh, it should be the Ugly Bastard tag. Oh my God, it's the worst thing ever." It's like, no, that would just make the tags even more of a pain to deal with because then you wind up with anyone that doesn't look a 10 out of 10 according to whoever's tagging it would wind up getting that tag. And then we get the issue with the misuse of the NTR tag where nobody wants to touch it because they know one example, and the example that comes to mind for me for the actual ugliest sin, one of the ugliest people I've seen in one of these is from. Don't look this one up unless you're actually into this kind of stuff, but one that I stumbled upon 2 years ago or so called Kawaku no Toki. And it doesn't get the tag because, as far as I know, I only ever skimmed through the first episode. The ugliest sin groundskeeper, I think he is, never gets involved. There's apparently another one out there with basically the same premise, but the groundskeeper actually does get involved or whatever. But that's neither here nor there. The point is that this tag is beyond a mess because people want to try and cover this umbrella so far out that if they aren't a 10 out of 10 according to their personal preferences, then it gets under that tag. There are, for sure, things that fit under this tag, but there are some where everything else is fine. Then you see that tag and you're like, well, I don't want to touch this, but the tag was misplaced. And where you don't want to watch it, you go in to watch it and you're like, oh, well, that's not as bad as it was as I thought it was. And actually, it's a pretty decent thing. That's pretty much the long and short of it. Like, unlike NTR where it's got like 4 different definitions, this one's pretty straightforward. The issue with this one comes from people wanting to label anything that fits any of the 7 different aspects that are considered ugly under it. This has been somewhat solved by the manga-esque sites where they have tags that are just fitting into one other thing like BBM, which is a overweight man, but is still able to be stomached by most people. And, if that alone is enough to tell you, hey, I don't want to do this, you know what? You can just walk away from that tag. It's one extra tag. That's all it is. And it's easy to walk away from. It's what most of these are. That's why I find it weird whenever you wind up going into one of these and people complain, oh, well, it's tagged with this. I came here just to complain about it. No, it's tagged right there. It's not like one particular one where it's tagged with comedy and vanilla and it is fits under a tag that I can't touch because the simple word that it is can't really be tagged on YouTube because people will complain. Well, people won't complain, but YouTube would immediately just strike that down, and actually, I think that would be a full-on strike. It should be tagged with rape, to be honest, due to the actual content of it. It is not a comedy. It is not vanilla. It is absolutely, it's bad. But that's the way it is on the internet. You are eventually going to get burned if you try and test it too much. But that's, I guess, the problem with community tags is people can just troll the tags and go, hey, it's this, or it's not this, it's actually this. And then you go into it and you realize, oh, that's wrong. But that was pretty much all I have to say about this tag. It's not really the most offensive tag. It doesn't even have a whole lot of instances that it's used incorrectly because it doesn't have to cover 7 different things. It doesn't. The only thing that it could benefit from is having a subset tag which the manga ones have that the video ones don't, in order to differentiate the actual ugly bastard from one that's just like fat or kind of a scumbag or something. But that's all I got for this one. Few updates. That one video that I was talking about last video is actually going to be coming along earlier than intended, because the thing that I was doing research on finally showed its true colors really early on, so I only wound up dealing with it for 2 weeks. Actually, no, it wasn't even 2 weeks. It's been 10 days. But yeah, I'll get a sort of complaining review rant out for that within the next week or so. I'm going to be busy the next few days, so it won't be very soon, but it'll be soon. The only other thing I believe that I have to update is I do have a channel where I'm putting VODs from Twitch, twitch.tv/NotSulamaya. For the actual completion project, it's sort of a log if you guys want to watch me get through all the main content of games. Yakuza Kiwami is the only thing going on it right now. And if you want to watch me Yakuza Kiwami live, I'll be streaming actually tonight, because this will be uploaded and out on Sunday. So tonight at midnight EST, I will be continuing. And the only other thing I have is another video that's going to be in the works. I need to get a few screenshots because it's actually a video I can work with screenshots on. And it's going to be a more informational one rather than me just ranting about dumb stuff like people not knowing how to tag stuff or tags being inefficient. Or the other thing which is going to be worked on, which was a pain to freaking research in the first place. So the next video will either be me talking about the observation I have, or my review rant video. I haven't decided yet. And on the topic of that informational video, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, because 99% of you haven't, actually. 99% of my views are from people that aren't subscribed. But that's it for me now. Like, if you liked, subscribe to become part of the Phoenix Brotherhood. I already said that, but do it anyway. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.